All good?
Yep.
There's a lot of beauty in the things that myself and people like me get to do. There is. We get to see things that nobody else gets to see. And people look down on it because it's supposedly crazy or it's irresponsible or whatever. Like art's the same way. Like you think about people that go to school for years and years and years to get an art degree. They want to learn more about what they love to do, and then people shit on them because they don't leave with a degree and make $100,000 a year. And that's a tragedy to me. Like those people went to school to learn something, and hopefully they did. I spent a lot of time exploring the world and touching like rocks and jumping off of them and riding my bike. Doesn't mean that it's worthless. People paint because it's beautiful. People do that because they love to do it and it brings the best out of them. Like why can't that be the same for parkour or gymnastics or base jumping? Some of the most beautiful people that I know are base jumpers, and they have a very real scope on life and on what they value. And I mean, you want to talk about friendship, man, like go hang out with some skydivers. We have like a very sick, twisted, dark, demented sense of humor when it comes to each other getting hurt and dying. But at the same time, we know that we appreciate life, in such a way that some people don't. That's like our common bond, So when you get us around a campfire, we're not talking about ourselves to show off. We're talking about our experiences to share. That's it. That's all it's about, We're brought up with the idea that you need to avoid situations that expend yourself, right? When somebody talks to you about going on a hike, they don't say, go out into the wild and get connected. You know what I mean? Go out there, enjoy the silence and be yourself out there. They don't say that. They say, if you're going out there, wear sunscreen, bring lots of water, make sure you have your cell phone or a GPS tag. Like when I was in Australia, man, I took the bus to the mountains and I did whatever I wanted. I rock climbed, I hiked, I rappelled. And like in Alamogordo, you can go up to the mountains and you can just explore. You don't need to stay on defined trails or anything like that. You can just go find a new meadow, find a new lake. That's important to do. That's when the fun starts. Just go into the woods and just be in the woods. That's simple. If you no longer want to be in the woods, come back. Skydiving is the same way. Once you know how to skydive, go out and be expressive with what you're doing and go out and do it in a way that makes you feel good. Don't go out to be better than the next guy. Don't go out to have more jumps at the end of the day. You're wasting your time. You're wasting it. You're missing it. People do that a lot, dude, with a lot of different things. And I think that if you can tap into that in every aspect of your life, like if you get to tap into what makes you you when you're working and when you're playing and when you're having a conversation and when you're with your wife or your loved one or whatever, like that's success. Like now you're living a life where you're engaged. It's not for everybody, that's for sure. But for those that it's for, we can't stop for some reason.
It's pretty special. But now more than ever, because more people are getting involved in it and it's becoming more of like an everyday thing, it's not really about being rad as more as it's about being expressive and just having fun. And, you know, it's like rock climbing. You go out with your friends and, I mean, it's worth it. It's worth the risk in a way, you know, and even if one of your friends doesn't make it back from that rock climb, I mean, he went out there with the intention to do his best and he did, and then it was his time. It's the same thing with base jumping.
Base jumping is cool. Just testing it right now. That's like the 4th or 5th one I've gotten on it.
I'm not for sure, man. My buddy maybe needed some help. He hit the water. A friend of ours was swimming in to get him. Hey, how you doing, brother? You. Oh, fuck.
So I pressed record. I was just shooting like a really wide shot. So like in my camera, you can kind of see them standing up at the top. He was standing up there with a friend. And actually at first, I wasn't sure who was jumping first. When he jumped, there was definitely a point where I noticed that something was wrong. He was extremely low to the ground, going really fast. His parachute was out, but not open. When he hit the water, it was loud. Like the impact was crazy. I was very, very surprised. It was like dead silent around there. There wasn't, I mean, he hit and there was nothing after that. Like I didn't really know what to do.
I had finished my last year of welding, and I did second and third year back to back, and I was exhausted. And I told Ron, I said, we're going on a trip. We need to go. I need to get away. So off we went to Mayan Riviera. We were in our, I believe it'd be our 8th day there. And I was getting these weird phone calls, odd numbers that typically you wouldn't answer if you were at home. They'd be, you know, from, you know, Wyoming or Massachusetts or something. You recognize them as, you know, you have won a trip or something, so you didn't answer them. But I got a series of about 4 of them while we were in the shopping area. And I just got this feeling. I thought, I'm just going to phone Danielle and say, have you been trying to get a hold of me? Because I've been getting these weird calls coming in on my phone. And she said, yes, call me. So this was in the taxi. Getting back to the resort, I got out of the taxi and I called her right there. And she said, the first words that were out of her mouth was, he's all right. But he's been in an accident.
So the whole story was, I was at work, like about 5 o'clock actually, right about to leave for the day. And I got a phone from Curtis, and Curtis Huseman. And he's like, hey, it's Curtis Huseman. We're in Idaho right now, and Johnny fell 492 feet, I believe it was. And his parachute didn't open. And my heart was like, oh, right. Just like, holy crap.
Curtis was really shook up. You know, it was something where, you know, if you've seen the video, I can imagine why you'd be shook up. You know, it was pretty scary, especially if it's you know, Curtis and Johnny are best buds. To see that in real life, I think would be pretty crazy.
So I dropped my camera. I ran over to kind of where he was. I didn't want to be dumb, so I took my shoes off, took my phone out of my pocket, took my keys and my wallet, kind of threw it all on the ground, took my hat off, and then had to walk through the muddy, weedy grass and dirt out to Johnny in the water. He had swam for about like 20 feet, maybe-ish, not even, with his broken arms. And I ended up having to swim like 20, 30 feet. It wasn't that far. It felt like forever. The water felt cold, and I was just trying to stay awake, I guess, not just pass out, because it was so surreal. I swam out there, and I was just kept trying to tell him, I was like, yeah, like, you're gonna be okay. And he's like, I'm not okay. And I was like, well, I know you're not okay, but I was like, you're alive. Like, this is wild. And I asked him what was wrong. I was worried about his neck, because I knew he broke his neck when he was younger, so I didn't want to touch him or do anything wrong I shouldn't have done. I kind of just grabbed him by the back of the shoulder, kind of on the straps, and slowly just swam him backwards as I could. I don't have any crazy swimming lessons. I'm not like an instructor. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, but I spend all my time in the summer on a boat, and I'm thankful that I do know how to swim. Otherwise, I don't know what I would have done. He wasn't light. We were dragging his parachute that was full of water too, which must have been a couple 100 pounds, but I just pulled him back as far as I could, up into the weeds on the side. I was about knee deep in the water, I think, still. So I kind of just had to hold him up so that his head was above the water, and there wasn't much more that we could do together, because he knew right away that his femur was broken. Looking in the water, he was wearing bright red pants, which was awful, because you could see his left leg, just swim separate of his body with the waves. It was horrible. The parachute was pretty tangled. I mean, it was wrapped around his arms and his leg, so it was pulling on his broken leg. He knew both of his shoulders were out of place, broken. We didn't know at that point. And his arms, he was really sore. He was going like white, pale purple, and it was just freaking me out. But the first person to come after that was the boat that had driven me over to the landing site. They had come over. On their way over, we were kind of yelling at them, telling them to slow down, because when they were coming in, they were bringing some water. Some waves were coming in, and when the waves would come, and it would move him, and then his leg would swim, and his shoulders would move, and it was just, and then he would let out like a horrifying scream, and it was just like, oh.
Thursday afternoon, I was called to the ER for a base jump injury. We see these periodically, maybe once or twice a year. When I'm on call, I'll see someone from a base jump injury. On this day, I saw two individuals. The first individual was shipped to Salt Lake because of his significant injuries, and Johnny was my second injured base jumper. When he came in, his shoulders were very swollen, obviously dislocated. His leg was in traction, but still deformed and shortened. He was in obvious pain at the time.
That was probably the scariest thing that I've ever had with him. Just for the only reason that it was like near miss, like complete near miss. But I had to stay strong, because I had to stay strong for my mom.
I just remember being up in our room now and trying to make arrangements to get out of Mexico. And it wasn't going to happen. The long and short of it was, we can get you there Monday, which was, I believe, 4 days after the accident. And I said, no, no, I don't want to wait till Monday.
We were in the back room, and I got a phone call. The phone call was, is this John Korthius? I said, yes, it is. He says, my name's Curtis. Johnny was in an accident. He jumped 480 feet. His parachute didn't open. We just loaded him into the ambulance. I'll phone you when we know more. Well, it took about an hour and a half before I got another phone call. And I aged about 10 years in that hour and a half. Then a doctor phoned me from the hospital down there. He said, my name is Dr. So-and-so. I need your consent to put your son into emergency surgery immediately, plus you have to give one other doctor consent. So now I'm aging a little bit more. So I said to him, I says, well, he's of age, why do you need my consent? Is he unconscious? The doctor said, no, he's conscious. I says, well, if he's conscious, put him on the phone. So the doctor puts him on the phone, and on the other end, it's like, hi, Dad. And my heart just sunk.
I think we did a FaceTime, and Johnny was in the hospital bed as we've seen him in pictures and on Facebook. He had his cap, ball cap, kind of creating a shade over his face. And I could see that he was puffy. And I knew that I could tell he was hiding some injuries. But he was smiling, and he was saying, you know, I honestly, I don't remember verbatim words. I just remember my feeling. And the feeling was, I'm talking to him. And he's okay. And I can tell he's okay. And I'll get there as soon as I can.
Hey guys. So, jumping at the prime here for the last couple days. Went up with my buddy. I did a single gainer exit, pitched right on time. Felt the pilot chute go up and started sinking real fast. Realized that I had a pin lock. I reached up over my head, dragged on the bridle as best I could, managed to get the canopy out, but didn't even get the line stretch. Hit the water, immediately hitting the water, I could feel my left leg break. So broke my femur, snapped it, dislocated both my shoulders, broke my left scapula, and broke a couple ribs, cracked my sternum. But I was also in the water on a rig that I couldn't chop, so I had to swim with 2 dislocated shoulders and a broken femur as best I could as the parachute filled up with water and started dragging me into the, down. Managed to swim about 30 feet. Curtis came zipping over, jumped in, dragged me to the shore, kept my head over, and basically the rest is history. They did an awesome job rescuing me, got me onto a backboard, got me onto the boat, cruised me right over to the hospital, got me in for emergency surgery. They put both of my shoulders back in, and they installed a titanium rod down the middle of my femur and then pinned it and threw a bunch of staples in me. So as of right now, I feel not too bad. Miss everybody back home. Mom, Dad, love you. Sorry about this. And to all my other friends, thanks for those of you that stuck by, during all of this kind of stuff. I really appreciate it. And I know that being my friend isn't always the easiest thing because I'm always gone and stuff like that. But those of you that stuck by me, you're solid. And I look forward to your text messages and your Facebook messages every day. I'm going to be good, so stay classy.
It felt like forever. I mean, I held him for probably like 10, 15 minutes, but it felt like it could have been hours. And we just had like that conversation you'd never expect to have with pretty much your best friend. He's saying, I don't want to die and I don't want to drown and like, it's not worth it. And I don't really remember it because it was all pretty in the moment. The rescue boat came, which was the biggest relief because I knew that people could do something about it. And when they came, I was pretty shocked. I mean, Johnny pretty much told them all to shut up and what to do. He was like, stop. He was like, no, like, this is what's wrong with me and this is what we're going to do. And he kind of like almost led his rescue. It was the most inspiring, crazy thing that I'd ever seen because I was just freaking right out.
Yo, coming at you from Twin Falls, 5-star resort hospital. Healing up faster than expected, feeling great. I just took some Valium. Don't know when I'm coming home just yet. I know everybody's been asking me, like what's going on. So I don't exactly know just yet. We're thinking I might be out of here on Monday. It could be as late as the end of the week. Realistically, probably going to be flying home just because of the risk of blood clots and stuff being in a vehicle. Got my sister here, got Curtis here and his mom. They're hanging out, helping me out like crazy. Mom's going to be flying in tomorrow, visiting for Mother's Day. So looking forward to seeing her. Sorry about this again. Totally blown away by the support online. I'm going to heal up ASAP.
We'll be jumping again in no time. Thanks for everything. I love all of you. I'll see you again very soon. Peace out.
It's like one of the worst moments of my life, but one of the best was hearing him yell help. Because I was like, oh my God, like he's alive. We talked about it so many times, and that, like, if you, like, 500 feet into water is concrete at that point. Like, there's no way you can survive that. So when he hit the water, I knew, I don't know, not that I knew, I was so sure that he was not there anymore, like that he wasn't going to be alive, and I was going to have to drag his body, and like what I was going to do, and I was there by myself, and I was just kind of freaking out. Kept it calm, and then, yeah, I heard him yell help, and it was like the biggest relief I've had in my entire life.
The surgeon was like, well, yeah, he fell that many feet. And he broke his femur and his sternum. And it was like, so, but he's good. Like, things are good, right? Like, we're good. Because my mom wasn't there at that time. She was in Mexico. So she flew in after that. But again, Johnny was there. He told Curtis to tell me not to come. I don't know. It was just like, you were always there for me. So I have to be there for you.
I was told that a base jumper had been injured because the chute did not deploy, and I just figured that I would not get called on him because they usually don't survive that. We see several suicides, but occasionally base jumper who doesn't have a deploy parachute, and they usually don't make it. So when I heard that he had made it, I was surprised, and then when I saw him, I was surprised that he had as few injuries as he did.
I mean, we all play these characters, right? Like, there's a Johnny Corthius that everybody needs to see and understand, but at the same time, there's a really hurt kid underneath that. And, yeah. Okay, 3 a.m. It's about day 10. I set alarm clocks so that I can remember to take my pain pills. If I don't take my pain pills every 3 hours, there's a good chance that I'm just going to lock right up. My right arm seems to be getting worse. I don't know what's going on. It's the one that had the fracture. It's really painful to move. It's okay, guys. So I just took my pills. I'm just waiting for him to kick in. I'm gonna pass out again. I'm gonna try and figure out something to do with his shoulder. It hurts too much. So next time I wake up, it's gonna be 6. I gotta take more pain meds. See you guys tomorrow. Monday morning. This shoulder, my right shoulder, that was the one that was originally feeling the best. It's not doing so hot anymore. It's probably the worst pain on my body. And it's exhausting me. Still drowsy from the pills that I took at 8. It is what it is, I guess. It was Monday, and it's a day off. It's a long weekend. So here's to Maylon. Cheers, guys. Peace out. Hey guys, day 13 or something. Woke up this morning with this weird, day 12. Woke up this morning with this weird idea. So I started to meditate on the accident a little bit, and sort of started thinking about what could have caused the malfunction to happen. We're pretty sure that we know what malfunction occurred, but we want to really try and figure out why it occurred. And I had a theory, so I typed it up
And this morning I sent it to my friend Brandon at Bad Seed Base, and he's going to take a look at it, and hopefully something develops, because of that. So it's a beautiful day outside. Getting me stoked to recover and get outside as soon as possible. I love being outside, and all my friends got back from Roslyn today. They went biking, and they had a good trip, and they all came back safe, so that's pretty sweet. Getting excited to get out and do what I love to do with my friends again. So I guess we'll see what happens as soon as I heal up. Hanging out alone. It's kind of a bummer, but I'm going to keep reading for a little bit. I can already, I'm starting to get tired, so probably take a nap. I used to be so freaking energetic. I just woke up from a nap. My friend Rob Parsons is here. Yo.
Who's that?
You.
Who are you talking to?
Talking to you. Talking to the world, man. Shooting a documentary. Rob Parsons. Yeah, Rob Parsons is in a wheelchair. And I'm in a wheelchair. And we're going to get him up 2 stairs and into my house. 1 second. What are you doing over there? You got the door? Yeah. Okay. Alright. Can you pass me? Or you gotta. Yep. Yeah, my shoulders are still a bit fucked, but if you put the seat down. Sweet. Okay, I'll back up. Okay. Do you want me to flip this bitch up?
Oh, it's all good. You can. Good, if not. Whatever.
Oh yeah, fucking dream team. Blind leading the blind.
Pretty much. We got this, though. Michelle, who's Michelle?
Curse's mom.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah, she's awesome. She flew down to help me out when I was in the States, all critical and shit. Oh yeah. Entry. Achieved.
We filmed the whole thing, hey?
Yep. That's my job for this documentary that they're going to shoot about me. They want to see what it's like to be all fucked up. So you're fucked up.
Shooting 2 fucking people that are fucked up.
Doesn't get much more fucked up than us.
Wheelchair problems.
Peace out. Physio day 12. After the accident. Bending the leg. Feeling good. A little more, a little more, a little more. Stop. Let's go heel down. Stop. Let's go heel up. Higher, 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 higher. This is like the first tangible step to the recovery is like actually having stitches out, you know?
Yes.
That's crazy. They can just chop me open, throw a bar in there, stitch it up.
Yep. Color done.
A week and a half later, out these come and bar remains.
That's right. Did they tell you, are you going to have the bar forever? Or will they take it out?
No, if I want it taken out, they'll take it out in like a year and a half. I'll have it pulled out in like a year and a half.
Yeah.
So I don't need to shatter my bone again.
No, exactly.
It sounds like breaking your bone with that bar in there is a
Oh, yeah.
big issue. Yeah. Damn, look at that. Hey guys, so May 22nd, I guess it's day 2 weeks tomorrow, so day 13 today. Went to the doctor, got the stitches out, and that was sweet. You know, it was a big step forward.
I had Matt Leach stop by today, and that was a big help. You know, he's got really strong faith like I do. So for him and I to be able to sort of jam out and talk about that was nice. It was refreshing. You know, he gets it. Doing what I do, you gotta have faith in something. You know, whether it's yourself or whether it's God or, I mean, you gotta believe in something. In my opinion, I don't know. That's where I draw a lot of my strength from. And I don't know. I just realized that, you know, he helped me out, but he takes care of those who takes care of themselves, and I'm ready to do whatever I need to get better. So I'm gonna continue to do everything. I'm gonna fucking do rehab twice a day. I'm gonna figure out a way to get up and down those stairs. I'll build my shoulders up from the ground up if I have to. I'm not gonna let this thing beat me. I am not gonna not recover. I'm gonna get better, and I'm gonna come back stronger. I'm gonna come back smarter. I'm not gonna be broken by this. I will not be defeated by this. You know, and I've kind of set everything up now, you know, to think about everything's gonna hit rock bottom. You know, I'm gonna get hit that hospital bill. That's gonna be big. I can't really be at work to help my guys out, so they're gonna have to bust their ass, and you know, my company's gonna suffer. And now that we're at the 2-week mark, my friends are kind of trickling off, and they're kind of just leaving me to my own devices and stuff here, which is fine. I mean, fuck, I'm a big boy. I'm gonna be okay, but you know, everything hurts. I've got to taper off my pain meds. You know, what you have to do. The doctor says I'm ready, so she must be right. I hope she is. So the pain's getting a lot worse, and the loneliness is kicking in, and my mind is wandering, and the reality of the situation is starting to sink in. You know? But in the end, a little Fight Club reference, I guess, you know, you're not free to do anything until you've lost everything, or until you've lost everything, or I don't know, whatever. You get it. The quote goes something like that. Until you've lost everything, you can't ever be free to do anything. So, here's the rock bottom. Emotionally, psychologically, and physically. And here's to building yourself back up. Starting to lose weight. Sense of accomplishment today. Managed to get up the stairs, 4 of them, by myself. Fuck yeah. Took 2 wheelchairs, but whatever. Just took my first shower in 14 days by myself. Stoked. Used this fancy shower chair. Worked like a charm. Feeling fresh, feeling clean, feeling motivated. Show you guys what I've been up to at night lately when I can't sleep. Figured out where I can wedge my feet under the under a couch, and because of the nerve damage in my feet, I can't feel the tops of them, so it doesn't hurt when I pull up on them. So I can do all of my sit-ups, and I can do like arm physio and stuff like on a flat surface, which really is awesome. So I'll fill you in on that later. Yeah, good days. Day 14 was a good day so far. I'm healing fast, like super fast. Like I can like stand up, I can almost hobble, like put most, like not most of my weight, but some of my weight on my left leg. No pain in my femur. My shoulders are still acting up like crazy, but I can laugh and hiccup and stuff, and my ribs don't hurt too bad, so I'm pretty stoked on that. That's 2 weeks, and chest and back and stuff are feeling pretty good. So I think right now we're pretty much just waiting on my shoulders. And once those are good, man, fuck, there's no stopping me. I'll be in crutches and all that stuff in no time. Demo days is coming up in a week. Getting really excited to see all the kids. So we're going to do up some posters for sure. And I'm going to be out there. I want to talk on the microphone and Definitely want to sign some posters for the kids. Yeah, man. Season's coming in hot. I mean, obviously we're already just about end of May, but my seasons are year long, so I'm not too worried about missing out on anything. Stoked to be alive, on the mend, and yeah, fuck yeah, I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna pull through this shit, and I'm gonna be able to do way cooler shit when I'm done. Thanks for being there. If you guys are watching this, then I guess everything seemed to go pretty good. Hope the documentary is working out so far. Hope they're not making me look like too much of an idiot. That's exactly what I am. Okay, see you guys in a bit. I gotta get downstairs, so peace out. Cheers. Well, started off as a pretty good day today. Didn't turn out so good, I guess. Lots of pain. Really hurting. Had some awesome friends come by today, but there's certain ones that you kind of look forward to seeing, and they kind of just get too busy and stuff, and that makes sense because it's just the way life is, man. Life gets in the way. I know that I was guilty of that. I guess you just get your hopes up, and you shouldn't. So we're going one pain pill every 4 hours now instead of 2 pain pills every 3 hours. I'm really noticing the difference. It's been a painful day. So I just waited 4, I took 2, and we're gonna go to bed here pretty soon. Just had some dinner, and gonna call it a night, I think. Probably watch a happy movie and then pass out. Really missing a lot of my friends. Ones that, that I thought that were friends that I thought that were super solid. They haven't really been around. Waking up sucks. Why in so much freaking pain? I can use my right arm to get to my pills. That's it. I have to pee right now. There's no way I can make it happen until they kick in. My right leg hurts because of compensating for the fucking left one all the time. My back is killing me. Sit down for so fucking long. I just want to be done.
Okay. Worst morning yet. Been a 9 out of 10 on the pain scale. This hurts more than the accident. I gotta get to my pills. Can't put weight on my left leg at all. My arms are stuck in position. Pills are right there. Right over by the water. Fuck. Johnny, you look like shit.
So, according to the doctors, I'm gonna be in a wheelchair for a month. They were wrong. Shoulders are feeling good today. Decided I'd give it a try. It's not the most agile I've ever been on them, but still. His left leg, practicing on the sternum. Trying to get those muscles back. Yeah. Fuck the chair. Fuck the injury.
I want to say within 4 to 6 weeks, he was well on his way to crutches. We did not have the wheelchair for 2 full months.
I'm just trying to push through. You know, I'm trying to stay as positive as possible. And unlike any other time in my life, even though I could feel like I can physically push myself, I've got a lot more on the line now, because every time that I make a mistake, I'm going to be out for weeks or another month. I'm just a delicate flower, it seems these days, which kind of sucks, but I'll get there.
When I was talking to his physiotherapist too, it's like, he doesn't need any pushing for this sort of stuff. She doesn't need to be cracking the whip and saying, you got to do these. It's like, if anything, it's you're working too hard, back off on that, because you might re-injure something. So I mean, he's pretty dedicated in terms of doing it right. And I think that's why he's successful at what he does.
So I get back in the gym and I expect from my body what I'm used to expecting from my body, and I just overdid it. I put my back out. I'm 26 years old and I put my back out. It was really eye-opening because I spent a week laying down on heating pads taking muscle relaxants. Never in my life did I think that maybe jumping on a trampoline would put me down for a week, but that's the reality of my situation right now. I had to crawl to the bathroom. It was dragging my legs around. It was terrible. And it was so frickin' humbling to realize that I am a human being, and reality just punched me in the face. I blew myself apart when I hit the water, and this is my reality. but I'm coping and I'm facing it and I'm working my ass off, and it sucks. Straight up, it sucks. I'm in the gym like 2.5 hours a day, just trying to get halfway to where I was before. There's light at the end of the tunnel though.
I don't really know exactly if this documentary thing's gonna go on, but I figured that might as well try doing this late night recording thing again. I don't want to go home. I don't like being in the room. I don't like being surrounded by my stuff. It doesn't feel like it's mine. None of this feels like it's mine. Talked to my friend today. He might never walk again. Talking about the things that we valued and what we're supposed to be looking forward to, what we're supposed to be focusing on. You know, when we just said that we spend a lot of time thinking about, where am I going to be in 3 months, 6 months, a year? Am I going to have my life back? Am I going to be myself again? What am I going to do for work? What am I going to do for play? What am I going to do for fucking love, friendship? It's like we used to think that we had at least a clue. We used to have some direction. We had no idea. We said it too, like, I've never been this lonely in my life. Maybe that's a good thing. Probably is a good thing. But there's just no way to convey to people that haven't been in this position what it's like to be in pain for 6 months, every minute of every day. And you get up in the morning and you fucking force yourself to have a shower, and you go to fucking wash your back and you can't fucking reach it. And you gotta dry off, and that hurts. You can't get your fucking contact lenses in because you can't use your arm the way it used to, and you can't help but think where I was and where you were and what you could do, It's like, you think of how hard you worked to get to where you were at, and how, you know, you think about trying to get back there now. And it's like you got to relive your whole life. You got to put in all that work again so that you can just get back to par. It just seems so pointless in a way. Like, so you question, you know, like, what do I really want exactly? Like, what is it, you know, or not necessarily what I want. What am I here to do? Am I, you know, and you hope that it's for good. Like, you hope that you're here to maybe help people or to teach people or to inspire others or something. And you just spend all your time and all your energy thinking about that. You're not thinking about recovering, you're not thinking about being better, and you're not thinking about being healthy, and then you're just focusing on this confusing riddle of what you're supposed to do with your life and what you're supposed to learn from this whole thing, and then you spiral. You spiral. You know, like, it's so real. You can't just go back. You can't just be like, okay, tired of this. Don't want to be in pain anymore. I don't want to be second guessing myself. I don't want to be fucking lonely. I'm going to turn off that switch. I'm going to press the easy button, and then everything's going to be okay again. I'm going to be fit. I'm going to be strong. I'm going to be confident. I'm going to be smart. I'm going to be able to speak my mind and my thoughts, and I'm going to be able to convey ideas, and I'm going to be able to be effective. And then you wake up again, and it's time to shower, and you got to dry off, and it hurts, and it's like, it's like some of us are born with this double-edged sword of, like, motive and hunger to challenge ourselves and better ourselves. And it seems like inevitably it's that same blessing of, like, focus and ability to push through and to better yourself and to overcome fears and stuff. It's like, you know, inevitably it's gonna bite you in the ass. You know, and I know that we're just supposed to get through it. You're supposed to bounce back and become a better person. You know, but it's like it just brings out everything that's wrong about you. It's like starting from scratch. It's like a brand new life, except all of the stupid shit that you've done holds on to you. And it's like, it's not depression. That's not like what this feels like. I don't feel sad. I feel like somebody else. I feel like whatever it is that made me me before has just walked out of me. And I just want to find that again.
I didn't know if he was going to base jump that bridge again. After the accident, I know I told him, I don't want you to. I can't even talk to you about it. I don't want to talk to you about it. I was honest with him about how I felt. I said, I'm not ready to talk about it.
Walked across the bridge, dropped the glide cam about right here. Kind of ran through the bushes.
Really? You went through the bushes?
Dude.
Well, how'd you get to the water?
And I'm doing like the faint run, like that. I'm not really doing it.
You're just
but
like the
my body's doing it, and
yeah.
I'm kind of just like came through here.
The shot from the bottom where you can see me jump off the bridge and count all of those seconds as I plummet. And then the sound that I make when I hit the water is like nauseating because it's not a splash sound. It's like just a thud and like a gunshot. Came up to the surface, took a breath. Didn't yell for help yet because it was still sinking in that I hit the water and that I was alive. I knew that my leg was broken and my arms were all messed up. Like there was a lot of pain involved, but I knew that like if I survived that, there was a good chance that I could get to the bank at least, like put the pain aside, deal with it, and just swim. And this shoulder was all blown to pieces, and this hand was all hung up in my parachute lines because my canopy had come out of the container, but it never inflated. So this hand was all wrapped up, and my hand really, really hurt, but I couldn't really like use it because this shoulder was also dislocated, right? I could feel that this leg was broken, so I was just kind of kicking with like a stub. I just kind of kept swimming to a point where I could just touch my toe and I could just keep my face above the water, and that's where I just stayed there and waited for him to get to me. I was in the water for about 20 minutes, but Curtis definitely saved my life for sure.
The river was higher, but I like tossed my shoes, took my shoes off, ripped my hoodie off, put my phone in my shoe, threw my phone, threw the keys, threw my wallet.
You had to come and find them.
And then run through this bit.
Yeah, the water was up here.
The water was to here, so this was all reeds. So I had to like, I had to like run like this through all this shit.
Yeah. I was like
Probably,
right there.
Probably in there, right in there. So I had to run.
Or no? Yeah,
No,
pretty
it was
much
about
right here.
So I had to run. This was like fucking water, so you're stepping on this.
Yeah.
And, like up to here. So I drug you back like. That's why we can only get you back so far, is because I can only get you to here.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the reeds
And then it
poking
was
me in the
about-
back. Yeah,
It
I
took
jumped.
me,
I
like,
jumped
fucking-
basically at the apex of the bridge, so that puts me at about 20 feet offshore.
Drug you back. Fucking held
Look
you.
at
I know what to tell the paramedics. They want to know if I lost consciousness. They want to know if I'm nauseous. They want to know if my back or my neck or my head hurt. So I just relayed them my injuries, told them exactly like I told them, like my left femur is broken. My arms are broken. I've got ribs that are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. It's hard to breathe, et cetera, et cetera. Basically gave them all my vitals and then just let them kind of go to work. They got my body onto the backboard and then they had to put my leg in traction, which sucked a lot. So I felt him kind of like wrap his arm like around my hip basically, and they just wrenched that thing down and then onto the board, and then I felt it getting tightened to the board. And once that was done, it was like I started kind of fading in and out. Curtis came over, and I knew that if I had lost consciousness that he wouldn't really know what to do. So I just told him immediately, I was like, you got to call everybody, let them know what happened, just do your thing. And he was like, okay, got it.
You like this?
Yeah.
For fucking.
And then the other guys held my leg
One
and
guy
my
held your
arms.
leg, the other guy held your arm.
Because remember, my leg was floating like
was, like,
independent of my
going like
body.
this,
It was
yeah.
just like, oh, it hurt. And when the boat came in, and hit me with the waves, my arms and my leg were, it hurt
So when
so
she asked
bad.
you if you wanted your shoes.
Yeah, and
they're like floating down the river,
my
and I'm like,
shoes.
no, I don't
Leave
want
the
the
shoes.
No.
Just leave those stupid shoes.
The funniest part about all this is like when we were in Florida, Johnny bought these really disgusting shoes, these really, really ugly shoes, and they had blown off his feet when he hit the water, and I seen them floating down the river, and it was kind of like this weird thought in the back of your mind where you're like, yes, the shoes are gone.
Upon hitting the water, they just like flew off my feet. And like they just like, I don't even know how they came off, but they did.
But when the boat came, she's like, do you want me to grab your shoes? And I was like, no, don't grab the shoes. And I don't know how we laughed about it, but Johnny laughed at the time too. And he's like, I don't want my shoes. Like, and I was like, he's dying. He doesn't want the shoes. It was just, I don't know, it's the weirdest thing, but it's just funny now to us. I don't know.
And I vividly remember being on the banks, getting strapped onto the backboard, and the paramedics being like, Johnny, like, where are your shoes? And I was like, shoes are gone. They were like, well, no, we see them. They're over there floating. And I was like, just let them go. Like, I don't need those shoes. And they're like, well, they're on the way. And I was like, honestly, it's best if you don't go get those shoes, because Curtis has been making fun of me for a month straight about these ugly shoes, right? So Curtis is like behind me and I can hear him snickering when they're talking about these shoes. He's like, dude, don't let them rescue those shoes. I wake up in the hospital after my operation and lo and behold, there's my shoes. And then I thought that they got thrown away because they disappeared. And then again, I go into my trunk like a week and a half ago after being home, like once I started driving, pop the trunk and there they are. They're just sitting there. So now, because these shoes just wouldn't die and I just wouldn't die, I believe that our destinies are intertwined. So these ugly shoes are with me for life now.
9 months now. I knew he was going there.
Okay.
And the same thought came to my mind, is just, he needs to do this. He needed to return there to either make peace and walk away, or to jump it and leave the fear on the bridge and go.
Fuck. It's a long ways, isn't it, buddy? Remember, you were right over there. Woo! Hey? Takes a little more than this to kill me. Just a little bit more than this. Not a lot more, that's for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I want nothing to do with that riverbank. I want to be right over there, right beside the flag. It's so pretty right now, you know? So pretty. We had to have that mother-son talk of like, you know, she's like, I understand why you do what you do. I get it. It's cool. But like, do you think about what you would leave behind if, you know, something were to go wrong? Like, she's like, your dad and I care for you dearly. You've got a little sister here. You've got employees. You've got thousands of friends. You've got people look up to you, kids, you know what I mean? The people that you coach and all that kind of stuff. She's like, you know, do you really know what you're doing? If you're going to be getting into this, you need to sit down and talk with your family and let them know that you are going to be doing this kind of thing. And I did talk to my mom before I started base jumping and skydiving as well. I was like, you know, this is something that I'm passionate about doing. It draws me. You know, it's been because of these sports I've experienced some really great things. So I'm going to do this. Like any classic mom, immediately she's like, well, you better know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, just be careful and do your best out there. And I said, I promise I will. But then something like this happens, and then, you know, people start second guess, like, are you ready? Do you know what you're doing? And that's a tough question to answer, because you think you do, but maybe you don't.
behind when the wheels hit the concrete. The same flawless flow that's been found when the riff meets the beat. Layer upon layer, I'll be letting myself go from these moments that take you lead our positive health growth. The sunshine, the street meets the neighborly greets, heeds the cosmos driven seeds we feed to dictate the key. It's all so perfect to me. We the us in the equation with no product driven chasing. Sunday sunshine, and so I ride from where it all takes me out, slide, speak your oh man. In these moments I take, see pulling in the sunshine and what it makes.
That's good.
And so I ride.
How was it for you?
It all takes me power, slide, speech echoing crazy. And so I lie. In these moments I take, see pulling in the sunshine and what it makes me. Sunday sunshine, it's amazing. Sunday sunshine, won't you be mine? Sunday sunshine, you're so sublime.
Here he goes again. Jumped off the bridge again. I told him, I said, you gotta quit jumping. He says, yeah, I remember when you were younger, Dad, or when I was younger, Dad, you smashed up your Harley Davidson. What'd you do? So, well, you got back on it. And that's basically what he's doing too.
I'm proud of him. I know that in my mind, I think of it as it was a beast and he needed to confront it, and he did. And now he moves on. He's not stuck. He won't ever be stuck there. And so now he continues to do the things that make my heart kind of race sometimes. But like I said, it's the same thinking. It's always the same thinking, what your choices are. And I'd rather have him happy. I just accept that's his happiness, that's his peace. And that's what I want for my kids.
I feel disconnected from the accident now. When I talk about it, it's you know, my accident. It seems like it was so far away, and yet all of the effects are still lingering, you know what I mean? It's been a constant battle, in and out of surgery still though. Still waiting on another surgery. Got to get my left shoulder fixed. My femur healed up amazing, my ribs feel great, but yeah, the left shoulder is having a real issue. It turns out that I have class 4 arthritis. Basically, I need a shoulder replacement, so that sucks at 27. I turned 27. I made it to the most dangerous year of my life. So I just gotta last one more year to stay out of the 27 club. And I think I'm pretty good to go until I'm 32, right? Really excited. I got offered a job down in the parkour field. I do a lot of parkour and free running, obviously, and I'm definitely pursuing that more. I find that it's a really great way to reach out, and it's an awesome way to kind of keep the body going. And I'm hoping that I'll be touring and teaching parkour is sort of the latest and greatest endeavor of mine.
Oddly enough, I'm going to go with him this year. I'm going to go skydiving with him this year. And 10 years ago, I would not have done it.
I definitely approach everything that I do differently than before. I mean, you know, you asked me how many base jumps that I've done since my accident. You know, I've probably walked away from just about as many just because things weren't perfect or I just wasn't in that moment. There's a reason why the friendships and the bonds that you see in sports like rock climbing and mountain biking and base jumping and skydiving are so strong, is because I feel like we understand things on a deeper level than most people.
I take, see pulling in the sunshine and what it makes me. Sunday sunshine, it's amazing.
Those of you that do want to get into base jumping, just take your time. I'm not going to tell you not to do it because that'd be so hypocritical. You know, a lot of people will say, don't do it, it's not for you, it's a bad idea, but I think that base jumping can be a great idea if you're the right kind of person with the right kind of training and the right experience, because it is so fun.
It's also perfect to me. We the us in the equation with no product driven chasing. Sunday sunshine, and so I ride to where it all takes me.
If you can achieve some sort of personal gain that can affect others positively as well, then it's probably worth doing it.
Sunshine and what it makes me, and so I ride to where it all takes me. Power slide, speech echoing crazy. I'm so alive in these moments I take. See, pulling in the sunshine and what it makes me. Sunday sunshine, it's amazing.
So I had my first cutaway this morning, and that was interesting. I don't know, it wasn't actually as scary as I thought it would be. It was, we had a really good dive flow, we had a good plan, everything went to plan. Pitching at 4,000 like I usually do, gave a good wave off, out it went, felt the tug. It was a little bit of a rough tug, but nothing too crazy. And then I was just undoing my zips, and I kind of started to feel a little bit of a twirl happen, so reached up, felt that my risers were all twisted, and opened them up, took a look, and it was nasty. And then I started to spiral, and then my ditter started going off, so I was like, well, I guess this is it. So pulled my camera back through my risers, check, punched it, felt the fall, pulled it. I was on my back, which kind of sucked, so I saw my bridle, or my reserve bridle, go up around my right-hand side, so I just flipped over, and out she went. I mean, I always go through my emergency procedures on every jump in the plane with the expectation that I'm going to be using it. So when the time finally came to do so, there wasn't any hesitation. It was just, cool, this is what I got to do. Chopped, opened, flew her down. It was good fun. I got a bonus jump out of that one. 2 skydives for the price of 1.